Today is February 2nd. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It's a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous in the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today at the Big Book, we're going to continue our journey through There's a Solution. We will be reading let me scroll down here. Part of page 24 today. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on step 4. We'll be reading page 46. And of course, we'll read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope you all are doing well this morning, my friends. We've been given a brand new set of 24 hours yet again. And just what a blessing it is to work the program and live a life of integrity today. Clean slate. Another chance to do the next right thing. So with that, let's get to the good stuff. All right, so if you recall from yesterday's reading out of the Big Book, we left off on a pretty powerful couple of lines. At a certain point in the drinking of every alcoholic, he passes into a state where the most powerful desire to stop drinking is of absolutely no avail. This tragic situation has already arrived in practically every case long before it is suspected. So we are going to read the next two paragraphs on page 24. The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice in drink. Our so-called willpower becomes practically non-existent. We are unable at certain times to bring into our consciousness with sufficient force the memory of the suffering and humiliation of even a week or a month ago. We are without defense against the first drink. The almost certain consequences that follow taking even a glass of beer do not crowd into the mind to deter us. If these thoughts occur, they are hazy and readily supplanted with the old threadbare idea that this time we shall handle ourselves like other people. There is a complete failure of the kind of defense that keeps one from putting his hand on a hot stove. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on step 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And yesterday, if you recall, we talked about pride in reverse, obsessing about ourselves in such a negative sense. We also talked about, what about the ones who think that they don't need a moral inventory, that they're perfectly perfect without drinking. So we're going to add on to that on page 46. At this stage of our inventory proceedings, our sponsors come to the rescue. They can do this, for they are the carriers of AA's tested experience with step 4. They comfort the melancholy one by showing him that his case is not strange or different, that his character defects are probably not more numerous or worse than those of anyone else in AA. This, the sponsor promptly proves, by talking freely and easily, and without exhibitionism, about his own defects, past and present. This calm yet realistic stock-taking is immensely reassuring. The sponsor probably points out that the newcomer has some assets which can be noted along with his liabilities. This tends to clear away morbidity and encourage balance. As soon as he begins to be more objective, the newcomer can fearlessly, rather than fearfully, look at his own defects. The sponsors of those who feel that they need no inventory are confronted with quite another problem. This is because people who are driven by pride of self unconsciously blind themselves to their liabilities. These newcomers scarcely need comforting. The problem is to help them discover a chink in the walls their ego has built, through which the light of reason can shine. First off, they can be told that the majority of AA members have suffered severely from self-justification during their drinking days. For most of us, self-justification was the maker of excuses. Excuses, of course, for drinking and for all kinds of crazy and damaging conduct. We had made the invention of alibis a fine art. We had to drink because times were hard or times were good. We had to drink because at home we were smothered with love or got none at all. We had to drink because at work we were great successes or dismal failures. We had to drink because our nation had won a war or lost a piece. And so it went ad infinitum. "24 hours a day, February 3rd. AA thought for the day. By drinking, we escaped from the boredom for a while. We almost forgot our troubles. But when we sobered up, our troubles were twice as bad. Drinking had only made them worse. In AA, we really escape boredom. Nobody's bored at an AA meeting. We stick around after it's over and we hate to leave. Drinking gave us a temporary feeling of importance. When we were drinking, we kid ourselves into thinking that we are somebody. We tell tall tales to build ourselves up. In AA, we don't want that kind of self-importance. We have real self-respect and honesty and humility. Have I found something much better and more satisfactory than drinking? Meditation for the day. I believe that my faith and God's power can accomplish anything in human relationships. There is no limit to what these two things can do in this field. Only believe and anything can happen. St. Paul said, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." All walls that divide you from other human beings can fall by your faith in God's power. These are the two essentials. Everyone can be moved by these. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may try to strengthen my faith day by day. I pray that I may rely more and more on God's power. Daily Reflection, February 3rd. Filling the void. We needed to ask ourselves but one short question. Do I now believe, or am I even willing to believe, that there's a power greater than myself? As soon as a man can say that he does believe, or is willing to believe, we emphatically assure him that he's on his way. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 47. I was always fascinated with the study of scientific principles. I was emotionally and physically distant from people while I pursued absolute knowledge. God and spirituality were meaningless academic exercises. I was a modern man of science. Knowledge was my higher power. Given the right set of equations, life was merely another problem to solve. Yet my inner self was dying for my outer man's solution to life's problems, and the solution was alcohol. In spite of my intelligence, alcohol became my higher power. It was through the unconditional love which emanated from AA people and meetings that I was able to discard alcohol as my higher power. That great void was filled. I was no longer lonely and apart from life. I had found a true power greater than myself. I had found God's love. There is only one equation which really matters to me now. God is in AA. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading and some great stuff. Once again, the 12 and 12 today really hit home. As I kind of said yesterday, I was and still can be the one that has pride in reverse. Beats myself up, things like that. It can still come back. You know, I can replay yesterday's mistakes and just, even though I've already prayed about it, it just, I don't know, some weird, I don't even begin to understand why I do that. But I love what it says here on page 46. You know, this is kind of talk about how the sponsor can handle somebody like me that wrestles with self-hatred and loathing, you know. It says right here, they comfort the melancholy one by first showing him that his case is not strange or different. That his character defects are probably not more numerous or worse than anyone else in AA. And personally, I can vouch for that. When I admitted some of my wrongs to a very trusted friend, actually a couple over time, I was really surprised by the reaction. I guess my fear paralyzed me for a long time, and I thought to myself, well, if I admit these defects, they're never going to look at me the same. And it turned out that with both men that I talked to, they said, oh, okay, well, is that it? Like it was no big deal, you know? Not that they were trying to downplay it or anything like that, but as this book says, his character defects are probably not more numerous or worse than anyone else's. The next line, this the sponsor promptly proves by talking freely and easily and without exhibitionism about his own defects, past and present. And once again, that proved to be true in my experience. After I told my defects, and really they didn't react the way I thought they would, they shared some of their own and said, oh man, I did worse than that, you know, jokingly, right? And that instantly put me at ease. Because in my mind, I thought, oh man, I'm the only one who wrestles with that. And I'll never forget one person said to me once, Rob, you're not perfect, but you're perfectly human. And then the next line, this calm yet realistic stock taking is immensely reassuring, and it was for me. And then I love the next line. The sponsor probably points out that the newcomer has some assets which can be noted along with his liabilities. Good friend of mine always would say, hey Rob, when you're doing your inventory, write down 2 things that you did well or you do well, 2 strengths that you have for every one of your defects. Because I would only harp on the defects, right? And that does bring balance, just like the 12 and 12 said. And over time, and it's taken a lot of work, a lot of reps, and thanks to sobriety, I can look in the mirror and not hate the person I see. And that is a far cry from the man I used to be while I was drinking. All glory to my higher power on that one, and those who chose to help me. But my friends, that's all we have time for today. I've rambled on enough. I hope you all have a great one today. Please know, as always, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect. I'm just a drunk in this lifeboat recovery. Really honored to be here. And if you're listening and you're sober, I hope you know that you're a miracle. And I'm sure those who love you are very proud of you, and I'm proud of you. I know the struggle. And for those of you who are not sober and somehow you're hearing this, I just want you to know that you're loved, you're valued, and you are worthy of recovery. And I just pray that you get the help that you need today. But with that, my friends, for giving another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.